Tonight on KGW News, drivers caught in the middle of a powerful storm. Also ahead, evacuations expand again near Mount Hood as a wind-whipped wildfire continues to grow.
This is what's really bad, this wind. You just can't stop it and win.
Then new tonight, how some city councilors want to charge the Blazers even more after the team called the city's first offer a non-starter. Plus, more than a month of commuter chaos? Where and when a stretch of I-5 will shut down 24/7. And later, the Timbers' new coach has entered the chat.
I want to win, and I think that Portland can give us a chance to do it.
But we begin on this Tuesday night in Wasco County, where the Grasshopper fire continues to push east, forcing even more evacuations. Here's an up-close look at the flames from crews in the thick of it. We're glad you're with us tonight. I'm David Mulco. As of this evening, the fire burning east of Mount Hood has now charged some 77,000 acres, and new level 3 go now evacuations were just added to the northeast of Pine Hollow. More than 700 people being told to leave now, with hundreds more on alert. Alma McCarty spoke with some of them tonight.
Blue skies in Wasco County clouded with smoke from the Grasshopper fire.
Well, we're in level 3, and our home's right in the direct path of the fire coming down.
For Gene Underhill, that means bags are packed, valuables out of the house, and anxiety setting in.
The house is built in 1906, and yes, we're concerned about fires. Last night I saw 3 houses burnt to the ground, just a wall of fire coming down from the west, headed east.
Despite past fires on the landscape, Gene says it doesn't get easier.
Been doing this for a lot of years, but you never get used to it, especially when it gets close to your place. That's when it gets really scary.
Ranchers and farmers nearby doing what they can to protect their property, alongside the more than 1,600 personnel hoping to halt the fire's forward progress. Tuesday evening, fire officials upgraded a few of the evacuation zones south of Dufur and north of Tye Valley. The fire danger and severe smoke even leading to the cancellation of this year's Wasco County Fair, which was set to kick off on Thursday. Over at the Dow's Middle School.
I was so anxious to more or less get here and land because I knew we were needed.
Volunteers from out of state, like Floyd Elliott, say they're eager to help as long as the fire threat remains.
We're here to more or less buffer the misery and help them get through whatever they're going through. We come in, boots on the ground, like I said, and we help get the job done.
In Wasco County, Alma McCarty, KGW News.
Hearing and seeing those gusty winds, let's bring in meteorologist Joe Ranieri tracking those fire weather conditions. Joe?
Yeah, and the winds aren't going to stop a whole lot. They'll die down tonight and early tomorrow morning, but as we take a look at what's going to happen once we start to see the sunrise, from 8 a.m. until the afternoon, we're looking at a steady round of gusty winds, anywhere from up to 25 to 30 mile an hour winds, and that's going to be the case going into the next couple of days. That's where the one problem crews are going to be having, trying to get a grip of the wildfires. We just heard from one of those gentlemen in Alma's story talking about just how strong the winds have been. Well, they're not going to be letting up anytime soon. As we go into tomorrow afternoon, you can see from Skamania up throughout the Dalles and near Dufur, you're going to be seeing gusts anywhere from 30 to potentially 40 mile an hour winds, and that's going to continue into the early part of the evening as well, picking up pretty strong winds near Government Camp as well. As we look at the current wind gusts, you travel out there, you're looking at kind of calm conditions for the time being, but it's short-lived because once we get into tomorrow, we're going to be dealing with more windy conditions and a lot of smoke. And coming up my full forecast, David, I'll talk more about when the smoke is going to be making a return to the west side of the state.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks so much, Joe. We also want to mention a way you can help those impacted by wildfires. It is our Northwest Response Fund. It goes directly to the Red Cross. Donate in person at any local branch of U.S. Bank or scan the QR code on the top right corner of your screen. It's also available for you at kgw.com. Well, new at 11, this is a big deal. On the eve of a major vote, some Portland City councilors are now looking to charge the Blazers rent in exchange for funding Moda Center renovations. In an amended term sheet or framework released this evening, 4 councilors are proposing that Rip City management pay $2 million in rent each year. That is in addition to the already proposed $3 million annual payment in lieu of property taxes. That was part of the initial term sheet, and whether or not it was a negotiating tactic. Remember, the Blazers called that original offer a, quote, non-starter. Okay, Portland City Councilors are set to vote on the amendments and terms tomorrow. If approved, remember, we need 6 councilors plus the mayor to tie break. It will begin formal negotiations with the Blazers. If not, it could threaten the timeline to unlock state funds, and the team's long-term future could be in jeopardy. Look for live coverage tomorrow on all our newscasts and on our free TV streaming app, KGW+. To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines, new tonight, Gresham police are investigating a shooting turned homicide after one of the victims died. Authorities say 45-year-old Lacey Mouser and another person were shot last Tuesday at the Rockwood Village Apartments on 185th. Mouser died in the hospital 4 days later. The other victim was treated and released. So far, no one has been arrested. To what appears to be a bit of a mishap in the Dalles this morning, where a driver crashed right into a church. First responders were able to get the driver out of the vehicle. We understand they are okay and no one else was injured. It's unclear what led up to the accident or if that driver was cited. And health officials are warning of 2 new measles exposure sites in Clark and Multnomah counties. The case in Clark County involves an unvaccinated child that tested positive after visiting an urgent care facility. The other exposure happened at a Gresham ER. The dates and times are on the screen. If you are at either of these places during the times listed, officials say you should reach out to your doctor. Developing tonight, a Portland man has been charged in connection with multiple violent attacks involving a Great Dane. One authorities say seriously injured people and other dogs. Catherine Cook spoke with one of those victims tonight. Catherine.
David, that victim says she wasn't ready to speak on camera after what she and her dog went through, but she confirmed that the dog, pictured on warning flyers posted around Southeast Portland, is the one that attacked her. This is Shadow, the Great Dane. According to court documents, the dog and its owner, Alika Kalekale, lived at this apartment complex on Southeast 50th and Division until they were recently evicted. Kalekale was in court today, charged with maintaining a dangerous dog. Several former neighbors told us they had run-ins with Shadow, describing the dog as aggressive and unpredictable. Court documents say back in February, one victim reported that she and her dog were both attacked by the off-leash Great Dane. A probable cause affidavit noted the woman suffered bite wounds to her face, neck, hands, and knee, and that her dog was treated for severe injuries. Then in July, court documents say another woman reported that Shadow attacked her and her dog, lunging at them from inside a parked van. Her dog was so badly injured it had to be euthanized. The affidavit said Kalekale and Shadow left the scene and reportedly evaded animal control in early August before his arrest. County officials tell us Animal Services took Shadow into custody on Saturday. They say as of today, the dog had not been euthanized. David.
Catherine Cook in the newsroom there. Thanks, Catherine. Note 11, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, plans to give officers gloves that can administer an electric shock. The Associated Press first reporting that ICE plans to spend $20 million to purchase thousands of these gloves. The company behind them says officers can press a switch to activate electrical mode. As you can imagine, the news has already sparked outrage from civil rights advocates. Homeland Security has not commented. Right, to a new piece of military technology being made in Southwest Washington right now, a vessel built for some tough terrain. The Army and Vigor Marine Group unveiling their new maneuver support vessel in Vancouver today. It's a 120-foot military workhorse built to move heavy equipment where traditional vessels can't. The MSV, for short, can carry up to 82 tons and only dips 4.5 feet into the water, even when it's fully loaded. Officials say the billion-dollar contract is helping support 200 skill jobs and will produce 14 vessels.
We're creating an incredible opportunity in building the economy of Vancouver and Clark County and Portland, because many of the workers are coming from Portland.
These ships are expected to replace the Army's Vietnam-era landing craft. New at 11, Portland City Council is moving forward with plans for a new Broadway-capable theater at Portland State while promising not to abandon the Keller Auditorium. Okay, follow us here. The City Life Committee voted 4-1 today to send the plan to the full council. PSU has estimated the city's slice of the funding at $44 million, but councilors spent hours rewriting the resolution to make sure today's vote did not actually commit the city to any spending, at least not yet.
There's a lot of information I need before we approve funding for these projects, but taking this step today says we are in on the vision.
I can't get on the bandwagon to abandon the Keller to support something that is not on our balance sheet.
Sound familiar, right? The committee also added language to the resolution requiring Counselor to explore funding sources for Keller renovations alongside the PSU project, though they stopped short of guaranteeing funding for both.